How could a killer murder his victim while streaming live to hundreds on YouTube? On December 18th, 2022, a YouTuber was live streaming himself playing GTA Vice City to hundreds of his followers. At the exact same time, in the same city where he lived, a pregnant woman was brutally stabbed to death in her own home. This story isn't about uncovering the killer's identity. We all know who did it. Instead, it's about the bizarre and shocking lengths he went to in order to clear himself of the crime. And of course, the fact that the murderer was a YouTuber makes the case all the more intriguing. Imagine using this very platform, the one you're watching this video on, to create an alibi for murder. In today's story, we're going to unravel how he managed to live stream and commit the crime at the same time. We'll also dive into his disturbing personality and the eerie things he said during his 6-hour-long broadcast. Our story today takes place in Northern Ireland and revolves around a man named Stephen Matila, a 32-year-old YouTuber. Stephen had a relatively large following, about 35,000 subscribers, who were highly engaged with his content. His channel focused on reviewing action figures and games related to popular TV series and movies. For an entire year, Stephen hadn't gone live on his channel. Then, suddenly, on December 18th, 2022, just 2 months ago, he launched a live stream playing GTA Vice City, a classic game many of you have probably played. The stream was titled Live Gaming the Violent Christmas Eve. Yes, that was literally the title he chose. He streamed for more than 6 hours straight, a surprisingly long session, especially for someone who hadn't streamed in a year. But what happened the following morning made everything even stranger. On December 19th, 2022, Stephen called the police to report that he had found his pregnant girlfriend, Natalie McNally, dead in her home. Unfortunately, because this is a recent case, we don't have all the details yet. We know that Natalie was his girlfriend, but the exact nature of their relationship remains unclear. Was it an old relationship, a new one? Was the baby his, or was there another person involved? What we do know is that he was the one who reported her death to the police. Authorities quickly arrived at the crime scene, but from the start, they were suspicious of Stephen. They took him in for questioning, but he immediately pulled up his YouTube channel and showed them his live stream. "Look, I was streaming live all night," he told the police. "I never left my house. The entire stream is here on YouTube, with timestamps proving I was online. Hundreds of viewers watched it live and can vouch for me." At first, this seemed like an airtight alibi. There were short breaks in the stream, but none were long enough for him to leave his house, travel to Natalie's home, kill her, and return. The police had no choice but to release him. The investigation reopens. However, the investigation continued for another month and a half. Then, on January 31st, 2023, the police arrested Stephen again. This time, they accused him of pre-recording the stream and playing it as a live broadcast. But if the stream was pre-recorded, why didn't any of his viewers notice? After all, live streamers usually interact with their audience. Let's take a look at some clips from his stream. By the way, it's still available on his channel. Throughout the stream, Stephen kept saying he couldn't read the chat due to technical issues. He claimed that opening the chat would cause his game to lag. Some might wonder why he didn't just read the chat on his phone. Well, Stephen had an excuse for that too. "I can't check my phone because I don't want to get distracted by TikTok," he said. "I know myself. I'll open TikTok and get lost in it." That's a ridiculous excuse. What does TikTok have to do with checking chat messages? Clearly, he was trying to cover all bases to avoid real-time interaction. The eerie hints in his stream. Even more disturbingly, he seemed to be bragging about his crime during the stream. Remember, this stream was pre-recorded before the murder, yet it contained eerie hints. For example, at one point he randomly mentioned Natalie's name in a joke. It was completely out of context, making it even creepier. He then laughed at his own joke as if it were nothing. Someone might ask, wasn't this stream supposed to serve as his alibi? Why would he leave hints? The answer lies in his narcissistic personality. He saw himself as untouchable. One of the strangest moments in the stream was when he started singing a song with lyrics about how he only commits crimes in video games. He kept repeating how he wasn't going out that night and how he'd be staying home. But instead of reassuring people, his insistence only raised suspicion. At another point, during a break in the stream, the screen changed from the usual live stream paused message to a poster of the 2021 James Bond movie, No Time to Die. Was it just a coincidence? Or was it another chilling clue left behind by a man who thought he could outsmart everyone? The full truth is still unfolding, but one thing is clear. This is one of the most bizarre and unsettling cases to ever involve a YouTuber, and just as quickly the poster disappeared from the screen. It was only displayed for a few seconds. Some sources claim that the poster appeared on the stream at the exact moment Steven was committing his crime. That means the timing of the poster's appearance aligned perfectly with the moment of the murder. And of course, he chose the movie title deliberately. While he was killing, the words, "No Time to Die," were on the screen. Insane. After the break, Steven returned to the stream and tried to explain away the sudden appearance of the image. He fumbled through an excuse, saying that when he placed his controller on the table, he accidentally pressed a key on his keyboard which caused the image to pop up. But come on, who would believe that? How does an image appear on screen just by pressing a random key? Anyone familiar with streaming knows that these screen layouts have to be set up in advance. There's no way a movie poster would just randomly appear unless he had programmed it beforehand. It was clearly a deliberate clue from this twisted mind, and he was indeed committing the murder at the very moment the poster appeared. The poster was displayed at exactly 9:26 p.m., and police estimate that the stabbing took place at 9:30 p.m., almost the same time. It was as if he was leaving a sick breadcrumb trail. Another disturbing clue came when he talked about Christmas. He said, "This year's Christmas is going to be special." I tried to highlight the most chilling moments from the stream, but the entire video is unsettling. The fact that this was a pre-recorded video designed to create an alibi gives you an eerie feeling while watching it. This man meticulously planned the crime. He sat down for 6 hours recording a video that only pretended to be a live stream, all to establish an alibi for himself. This is the textbook definition of premeditated murder. And you know what's truly nauseating? He ended the stream talking about love and kindness. He told viewers to love one another, reach out to their loved ones, and send them messages. He tried to come off as the kindest, most caring person in the world. It's beyond infuriating. Now, here's something that will shock you. This is Steven's Twitter account, and this is the tweet where he shared the link to the stream. If we open the likes on this tweet and scroll through the accounts that liked it, we find one account named Nat, short for Natalie. Yes, folks, this is Natalie's account, the victim. Imagine that. She liked the stream that was designed to cover up her own murder. It's almost impossible to comprehend. Now, let's talk about the crime itself. As we said, the stream took place on December 18th, 2022, and the next day, December 19th, Steven went to Natalie's house and called the police, claiming that he had just found her body. When police arrived, they found Natalie had been stabbed with a kitchen knife from her own home. She was 32 years old, the same age as Steven, and was 4 months pregnant. This monster killed both her and her unborn child. 2 lives taken. As I mentioned before, we don't have all the details yet because this is a recent case. Some sources say Natalie was Steven's girlfriend, but there's no confirmation on whether he was the father of the child. There's also no officially confirmed motive for the crime yet. In fact, Steven has not even been convicted yet. Yes, he was arrested, and he's still in custody, but as of now, he hasn't been found guilty. So we don't know for sure what his motive was. There are many possible theories. Maybe it was a crime of betrayal, and the baby was actually his. Or maybe the baby was his, but he didn't want it, and she refused to have an abortion, so he decided to kill her. Or maybe the baby had nothing to do with the crime at all, and there's an entirely different reason behind it. No one knows for sure. What we do know is that after Steven reported the crime, police arrested him at the scene. They had suspicions about him from the very beginning, but as we said, when they took him to the station, he showed them his live stream on YouTube, and they let him go. I guarantee you he walked out of that police station feeling like the smartest person on earth. He remained free for nearly a month and a half after the crime, and during that time, get this, he kept visiting Natalie's family. He would sit with them, talk to them, comfort them, and even attend their memorial gatherings and candlelight vigils. He acted like he was grieving with them. Natalie's parents didn't know Steven very well. They knew he was their daughter's boyfriend, but they hadn't met him often. In fact, they had only seen him twice before the murder. Natalie lived alone in her own home, so her parents weren't deeply involved in her daily life. But Steven stayed close to the family, not out of love for them. He wanted to spy on them. He wanted to see if they suspected him. And later, when police searched his phone, they made a shocking discovery. They found an audio recording, a secret recording made inside Natalie's family home. Steven had left his phone behind recording the entire time, so he could listen to their private conversations and find out if they were talking about him. Another bizarre thing, on December 19th, 2022, the very day Natalie's body was discovered, Steven uploaded a new video to his YouTube channel. It wasn't about the murder though. It was just a normal normal review of a Star Wars lightsaber toy. What was his goal here? Was he trying to act like everything was normal? Was he trying to distract people? It's hard to say. But even if he was trying to make himself look innocent, why post a video on the same day his beloved girlfriend was found dead? Shouldn't he have been mourning? Shouldn't he have been too devastated to post content? Everything about this case is beyond disturbing. On December 31st, 2022, just 12 days after the crime, Stephen posted a tweet that read, "2022 was the worst year of my life. The level of suffering, loss, and cruelty I experienced is something I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. I am not okay, and I don't think I will ever be the same again. I lost so much, but I'm still here." Despite this, Stephen continued to act as if nothing had happened. On January 25th, 2023, he uploaded another video, this time reviewing a game from the Doctor Who series. It was chilling to see how he could carry on with his life so coldly, posting content as if he hadn't just committed a brutal murder. This, however, turned out to be his last video. Just 6 days later, on January 31st, 2023, the police arrested him again. This time, the authorities had gathered crucial evidence. Security camera footage revealed his movements on the night of the crime. They tracked him leaving his house, boarding a bus, and heading towards Natalie's area. Then, after some time, he took a taxi back to his home. Every step of his journey was recorded by various surveillance cameras. The police had to meticulously analyze hours of footage, tracing his movements down to the smallest detail. They even managed to locate the bus driver who had driven Stephen to Natalie's area, as well as the taxi driver who had taken him back home. But the most damning evidence was yet to come. Experts in digital forensics examined Stephen's so-called live stream and confirmed that it had been pre-recorded. What he had presented as a real-time alibi was nothing more than a well-orchestrated illusion, carefully planned to deceive the authorities. When confronted with this evidence in court, Stephen finally admitted that the stream had been pre-recorded. However, he continued to deny the murder itself. He insisted that he had stayed home that entire night, despite the overwhelming evidence contradicting his claim. As of now, the case remains ongoing. No final verdict has been reached, and Stephen has not yet been convicted. However, with the weight of evidence against him, it seems highly unlikely that he will escape justice. Unfortunately, even if he is found guilty, there is another disturbing aspect to consider. Ireland's justice system is notoriously lenient when it comes to life sentences. In Ireland, a life sentence is not truly for life. The maximum sentence they recognize as life imprisonment is just 25 years. Even more shocking, many prisoners don't even serve that full term. Those who demonstrate good behavior can be released after just 20 years. To illustrate how flawed the system is, let's look at a case from 1998. That year, another criminal, Stephen Scott, ironically sharing the same first name, committed a horrific crime. He was 26 years old at the time and had a 17-year-old girlfriend named Sylvia. She became pregnant, and at some point, tensions arose between them. The exact nature of their conflict remains unclear, but what happened next was beyond comprehension. Stephen Scott drugged her, strangled her to death, dismembered her body, placed her remains in bags, and disposed of them. It was a gruesome, cold-blooded murder. For this heinous act, Scott was sentenced to life in prison, 25 years. But did he actually serve that full term? In 2017, he was released early for good behavior. In total, he served only 19 years for such a brutal crime. This precedent raises an alarming question. Even if Stephen McNeil is found guilty of murdering Natalie and her unborn child, will he actually face true justice? Or will he too be released after serving only a fraction of his sentence? The entire case is tragic on multiple levels. A young woman and her unborn baby lost their lives. A man who meticulously planned his crime nearly got away with it. And even if justice is served, the punishment may not fit the crime. The Irish legal system, as it currently stands, does not seem equipped to deal with murderers in a way that ensures true justice for the victims. This case is ongoing, and we will have to wait and see what happens next. However, regardless of the final outcome, I probably won't make another full video about this case. And with that, we come to the end of this video.